Imagine working in a building that holds secrets within its walls, a place that's alive not with people but with memories no one dares speak of. Our story tonight follows Lena, a typical office worker who stumbles upon something unsettling. What was meant to be a quiet, late night at work turns into a chilling journey. It starts innocently enough, a typical night. The hum of fluorescent lights, the creak of office chairs, and an occasional clang from the old heater. For Lena, it was another late shift in a building that should have been empty. I mean, why is it always the night shift? Wouldn't we all be so much safer in broad daylight? The night was like any other. Lena was on her way to the break room when she spotted something unusual, a door tucked away at the end of a narrow hallway she'd never noticed before. The door was old, almost blending into the shadows, with the faint imprint of 616 barely visible on the rusted metal. As if to welcome her, an old, weathered key lay abandoned on the floor nearby. Part of her wanted to ignore it, to keep walking, but curiosity always wins in stories like these, doesn't it? And in case you're wondering, yes, picking up strange keys is how every horror movie begins. Lena couldn't resist. She picked up the key, weighing its cold metal in her hand, and felt an odd thrill, a mixture of fear and excitement. Slowly, she fit the key into the lock, and with a loud click, the door creaked open. The room inside was shrouded in darkness, filled with an unsettling stillness, as if the air itself hadn't been disturbed in decades. Her phone's flashlight revealed stacks of paper, old filing cabinets, and shelves covered in dust. Ever wondered where all the old files go when no one needs them? Turns out, they have their own creepy resting place. Inside, Lena noticed that the files weren't just any files. They were cases of people who had mysteriously vanished over the years. Strange disappearances with no follow-ups, no conclusions. The hair on the back of her neck prickled as she realized the dates on these files spanned decades, some as recent as last year. There was one recurring detail: all these people were last seen in or near this very building. Room 616, it seemed, was not just a forgotten storage room. It was a tomb of lost histories, a memorial to the missing. But just how deep did these mysteries go? Lena was about to find out, whether she wanted to or not. Over the next few days, Lena couldn't get room 616 out of her mind. She began returning each night, unable to resist the pull of the unsolved mysteries within those dusty files. But soon things started changing. Subtle at first, the lights around her flickering, monitors going blank, shadows flitting at the edge of her vision. And then, one evening, she found a note on her desk. It was scrawled in a shaky hand, saying, "Only stop looking." No signature, nothing to indicate who'd left it. But Lena felt a chill that ran straight to her bones. Maybe it's time to unsee things, huh? But hey, curiosity isn't known for being kind. But stopping wasn't an option for Lena anymore. The files had become an obsession, a labyrinth of secrets she couldn't ignore. However, with each night in room 616, the odd occurrences grew worse. Shadows seemed to cling to her, whispering voices echoed down the halls. And on more than one occasion, she heard footsteps following her home. And then the dreams began, vivid, unsettling dreams filled with faces she recognized from the files, their expressions pleading, their eyes following her, their mouths moving in silence, as if trying to tell her something. Was she uncovering a mystery, or was she digging her own grave? One night, while carefully sorting through the files, Lena discovered something she hadn't noticed before: a small, locked drawer at the bottom of one of the cabinets. It was hidden so well that she almost missed it. Using the same key that had opened room 616, she unlocked it, revealing a weathered map and cryptic documents. The map pointed to various locations around the building, and the documents seemed to hint at something called Project S. The excitement was electric. She felt as though she'd cracked a secret code, but a darker part of her felt a sense of dread as she pieced it all together. Project S, really? This is the part where I would personally walk away. Just saying. At this point, Lena couldn't keep it to herself any longer. She approached her manager, determined to get some answers. As she mentioned room 616, her manager's expression went cold. His face drained of color, and his voice dropped to a whisper as he said, "There is no room 616, Lena. You must stop asking questions." The words hung in the air, and a new fear twisted inside her. Why was everyone so desperate to hide this room's existence? And what or who were they so afraid of? Maybe the real question here is what happens to those who don't listen. Despite the warning, Lena's curiosity was stronger than her fear. She returned to room 616 one last time. But this night, the room felt different, colder, like an invisible weight pressing down. The air was heavy, the silence unnerving. And then she saw it. A figure appeared in the corner of her vision, shifting shadows congealing into the form of a person. It was one of the faces from the files, a young man, his eyes hollow, his voice barely a whisper as he said her name. "Help me." Lena's heart raced, her throat dry. She was face to face with the lost, and they wanted something from her. You'd think at this point Lena would have learned her lesson. But hey, we all know curiosity has a dark side. By morning, Lena left room 616 for the final time, but she wasn't alone. Though she left the building physically, the experience stayed with her, leaving a dark, lingering shadow. In every mirror, every shadow, every flicker of movement, she felt those eyes watching her, waiting. Room 616 had branded her, like it had all those before her. And while the files remained hidden in the dust of forgotten histories, Lena would always carry the burden of what she'd found. So remember, if you ever find a hidden door or a mysterious file at work, maybe think twice before opening it.